Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft 2 commentary, and this is going to be purportedly an interesting game. One of these days, it's going to happen. It says Flabulous to EG iNcontroL. That's who this is right here, this Protoss player. iNcontroL, definitely one of the top. Well, actually, you could even say one of the top Protoss players in the world. You know, he almost qualified for the GSL. Which I guess in a sense puts him in the top 128 in the world in sort of a way of that sort. Anyway, and he's playing against Flabulous, aka Mr. Bitter. I'm just gonna call him Mr. Bitter instead of Flabulous. Mr. Bitter, very cool guy. Former SC2GG staff, is now actually taking lessons. He's actually now a very good Zerg player. I think he's like 2,300 points or something like that in Diamond. So pretty good player, and he's actually been taking lessons from iNcontroL. So this is actually one of the games that they played as part of the lessons, and Mr. Bitter said that he had never beaten iNcontrol's Protoss, but that this was a pretty crazy game, and I actually don't know who won it. This may be his first win against iNcontrol's Protoss, I'm not certain. And look at that, getting the pool down first. Almost, he may know iNcontrol's style, and in anticipation of that probe blocking, maybe just because he saw that probe with the Overlord, goes for the pool first instead of trying to get that hatchery down on this map. Anyway, this is Metalopolis, by the way. Interestingly, Mr. Bitter not scouting with a drone or anything like that. He's just going with the Overlord, so he doesn't know exactly what's coming. No idea if there's some kind of a two-gator. Okay, my battle connection was lost. Sorry about that. Anyway, so he's not going to know exactly what's going on, but it doesn't really matter. If you're going pool first with gas, it doesn't really matter what the other person is doing quite as much. I mean, you don't need to scout and find out if there's a two-gate or some kind of, you know, because two-gate rush, because then, you know, you've already got what you need to prepare for it, which is the spawning pool. It is helpful to know, so you can get that a spine crawler if you need to or something like that. iNcontroL just going pretty much standard PVZ though, and iNcontroL does have, you know, one of the best PVZs in the world. And this is coming from Artosis. Has casted some of his games recently. Anyway, so very high level player, knows exactly what to do. Is going to go for this very standard build. Get the Zealot, put it in the gap between the core and the wall, get the warp gates going, and probably going to get some sentries out next, and mass up some sentries and expand with sentries, and then just go into whatever tech pattern he's going to have after that. Now we have Mr. Bitter is sending out some Zerglings. I like this. He's going to send out Zerglings and try and take control of these watchtowers. And look at this. Even another Zergling. Look at this. This is beautiful. Overlord spotting the expansion, and this other Zergling is going to go around and kind of scout outside of his base to see what's going on there. By the way, the FPS is being a little bit slow right now. I apologize for that. I'm not sure why my computer's being a little bit slow today and when it's recording. But I actually have some fixes for that in the works. A new recording program that's supposed to work a lot better, and I like that too. He actually, instead of sending out keeping the Zergling here to watch when he moves out, he actually ran up that ramp and saw what kind of an army iNcontroL had. So that way, if you know your Zergling gets hit by 4 stalkers, you're like, oh crap, I need some lings right now. Anyway, so. Excuse me, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I have a possible fix in the coming out here. iNcontroL still with a probe over here, so you can make a pylon for warp gating in if he needs to later on. I like that. It's also kind of a scouting thing. You can see anything going on the low ground here. Anyway, so hopefully soon I'll be able to start recording with a little bit better FPS and maybe higher quality as well once that starts working again. Anyway, so iNcontroL with 5 sentries now is going to move down the ramp. He's going to kill off that scouting Zergling that was there and build his Nexus pretty quickly, and then he's going to start setting up a wall here. But a lot of Zerglings incoming though, and only sentries. If he catches those sentries with speed Zerglings in the open, this could be bad. He can pick off some of those sentries. Just one Zealot. Oh, force field wasted there, and the Zerglings are actually going to... Oh, blocked with a Zealot warping in. Beautiful play. He's going to lose a lot of his Zerglings if he engages those directly, but he could decide to do that and kill off a lot of sentries if he wanted to. He's gonna instead just run away and just and fall back and just play a longer game. Chooses not to lose those Zerglings at that point. I mean, he'd probably lose actually with 6 sentries. I don't know. It's hard to say. They do 6 damage, not too much damage with those a couple zealots in the mix. They would take out those Zerglings pretty quickly, actually. So he does get this expansion up. He's going to start warping in. Wow, another sentry still. Pretty soon, we're going to see iNcontroL start switching over into more meaty units. Probably get some stalkers and zealots after this point. See, there's the first stalkers coming in now. He wants to get all these sentries out early so they build up energy over time. So that when engagements happen, they've got 4 force fields and guardian shields and such instead of 2. Or you know, or just 1 if they just warped in. Oh, Zergling's getting caught off guard. And look at this. He's got overlords at every expansion. Beautiful play. He's clearly been learning from his lessons. Anyway, he's been taking lessons from iNcontroL through gosucoaching.com, by the way, if you are also interested in taking lessons. A lot of top players do lessons there. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Mr. Bitter keeping his queen energy super, super low. Very, very good macro going on here. Very, very strong play, and he's getting drones over to his 3rd hatchery. Perfectly. Oh, and another block with the zealot warping in. Beautiful force field keeps those Zerglings from running away as well. Very, very nice catch there by iNcontroL. iNcontrol's going to come up here. He may be thinking about. Well, no. Basically what iNcontrol's going to do next is he's going to have to try and pick a tech route. Well, he could just go for mass gateway units, actually. I mean, that is... Whoa, what's going on with my mouse? Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry about that. Mouse on crack. He could just go for mass gateway units. Usually you see the Zerg player switch... I'm sorry, the Protoss player switch over and get Colossus at this point, or Void Rays if they're Roach heavy or something like that. He hasn't seen a lot, and look at this. Mr. Bitter knows that iNcontroL is moving out with a significant army and is now building up his force. He's been basically droning up, had been just running around with those Zerglings and not doing much of else. And uh-oh, he's got a lot of force fields in play. He doesn't want to engage on that choke. So Mr. Bitter smartly falling back. He wants to engage in this open area, wide open area with creep, so that he can surround those units. And what is he? Oh, he's going to go for a flank. He's going to go for a flank. He's going to spawn out some units and then go for a flank on the other side. Oh, and he picks off the pylon, so no reinforcements for iNcontroL. Beautiful move by Mr. Bitter. And at this point, I should just put up the production tag. Sorry about that. He's supply blocked. He lost that overlord there, so he's producing actually 6 overlords. I mean, you might as well. If you're producing a bunch of overlords, you have to wait. You can't produce anything else. You might as well produce several overlords. And then you can wait, and your next round of spawn larvae will get you enough larvae to build stuff with those overlords, and that's exactly what he's doing. Oh, he's droning up, actually. Wow, droning up madly. 9 drones on the way. He just produced a few more, and a Hydralisk Den is up as well. So, basically, that Hydralisk Den is going to be useful against this army composition, but if iNcontroL is getting any kind of tech, it's not going to work quite as well. He does have the Forge going. He's chrono boosting out upgrades, and there we go, the Robotics Support Bay, or the Robotics Bay, whatever you want to call it, coming up now. So he's going to be able to get Colossus out, and they're going to be able to deal decently with the Roaches, and definitely going to be able to own Hydras pretty well, especially with this kind of a nice meaty army in the front. Oh man, that is just gorgeous. He can just cast a bunch of force fields in front and let the Colossus stand behind the force fields. Getting out an Immortal as well. Might as well get out an Immortal while you're waiting. Those are pretty good against Roaches too. He's seen all of these Roaches, so you might as well have an Immortal or 2 mixed into your army. In fact, with that many Roaches, well, is he producing any Hydras right now? Nope, no Hydras in the mix, just pure Roach. And if he knew that it was pure Roach, actually Immortals might even be a better choice instead of Colossi. He is producing a Colossus as well, though. So, but that one Immortal going to be able to do pretty well against this Roach army. Mr. Bitter is poking in, seeing what's going on there. He's actually going to live. The Roaches going to survive? Yes, Roaches survive. He needs to get that army out of there. But oh, look at this! An attack with the other Roaches over here at this expansion base, shutting down that 3rd base. These Roaches may be trapped, though. He's going to try to escape, and he's going to have to run back up that ramp or engage. And oh, the force field stopping them from running up the ramp. Beautiful move by iNcontroL. Wow, misses the last force field on this little gap, so most of the roaches are going to be able to survive to run around the side here. He's warping against some stalkers because oh, and he might be able to pick off that Colossus. No, I think it would have been. I think he should have sacrificed a few roaches there to pick off that Colossus. Instead, he's going to save his roach army here. And no, you can't turn around. No, he didn't run them far enough. The Colossus is going to own those up. Force field's blocking those roaches from escaping, picking off a good chunk of his army, and he's still just going mass roach at this point. Oh, okay, there we go. Corruptors in the way. I saw the Spire earlier, but it didn't really sink in my mind. So he does have Corruptors on the way. 8 Corruptors being produced, and that's a pretty good combination. Basically, his Corruptor Roach is super good. He knows that there's Colossus. At that point, it does become a little bit of a back and forth between the Colossus and the Corruptors, where, you know, if you get too many Corruptors, then you know, you can kill off the Colossus quickly and not have enough roaches for the ground army. But you know, if you don't have enough Corruptors, then the Colossi really own you. So it's a delicate balance on how many Corruptors you want to get. With just 2 Colossi, I think this is a pretty good amount of Corruptors. He's actually might have a couple too many Corruptors, but I think that's a good idea at this point, since he knows that there's going to be more coming. I like this camping the Corruptors over on the side, so he can come in from the side, pick off those Colossi. More Corruptors in the mix as well. iNcontroL just poking in there. I think he has an observer with his army. Yeah, so he's just picking off those creep tumors, which is a nice move, making sure that he doesn't spread the creep all the way across the map. That is something that Mr. Bitter could be doing a little bit more of, is spreading creep. It looks like he only had 1 or 2 creep tumors. Yeah, only the 1 creep tumor that he was spreading slowly down this route. He could easily go out there with an extra queen and put down a couple extra creep tumors there. Anyway, iNcontroL moving his army around the map here, producing another Colossus, getting the Twilight Council up now as well. And wow, so actually both players about maxed at this point. So huge roach Corruptor army for Mr. Bitter. Look at this. What is that? A dozen Corruptors. That's going to be pretty good for those 3 Colossi. Now that's the thing, is he's researching blink as soon as they get in. That's a good move. He needs the blink. He can blink around, blink his stalkers back if they're injured. He can also blink forward and pick off the Corruptors if necessary, if he needs to blink some to the high ground or something like that. Very good move. And oh, whoa! I completely apologize. I didn't realize that he had Hive already, and he is actually morphing in Broodlords, the endgame ZVP unit. That is hardcore. Now, those Broodlords, especially with a few Corruptors in the mix as well, he needs to make sure he has enough Corruptors to deal with these Colossi, because otherwise they will own his ground army, and the Broodlords will get picked off afterwards by the Colossi. I'm sorry, by the Stalkers. So it's a delicate balance, basically. But those Broodlords are going to be so good against Stalkers and Zealots and pretty much everything on the ground, as long as you have a meat shield in front of them to make sure the Stalkers can't just pick them off. Now, this is probably why iNcontroL had the blink. One of the reasons why I went for the blink is he probably saw that coming before I did. And oh, whoa! Gonna pick off a few Overlords over here. Well, I was gonna say supply block him, but he's at max army anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Getting up extra bases, and that's what you do when you got it maxed and you don't want to engage, is just take the map. Very safe play by Mr. Bitter. I like that. And oh my god, 6 Broodlords. Oh, never mind. For a second I thought that Stalker was gonna engage and try and take on the Broodlords and get picked off, but it just runs away. 4 Colossi as well. Let's check out the unit tab here. He does have some Corruptors in the mix. He's going over here. The Spine Crawlers have been moved over to, and here comes the big battle. He's coming in with the roaches from all sides. He needs to send those Corruptors in there. He needs to, yes, he corrupts every single one of the Colossi, picking them off very quickly with just a couple Corruptors. Looks like the Stalkers are not focused firing it. The Broodlords coming from behind. The Stalkers trying to blink in to kill off the Broodlords. They do get within range of the Broodlords. Broodlords having to move out of the way. Corruptors finally finishing off that Colossus. Does he have enough roaches? I think he has more than enough roaches with those Broodlords overhead to deal with that. And look at that. Immediately, it's just in the midst of the battle. He knows he has the battle won. Immediately starts morphing the Broodlords so he has more of them. This is the killing blow right here that he's going for. Once these Broodlords morph in, he's going to go in with Broodlords and Roaches and just try and own everything. Now, I did see a game that Artosis casted of iNcontroL the other day, where he did something similar to this, and he just came out with a bunch of Stargates. We don't see that going on right now, but he came out with a bunch of Stargate units and was able to win that way, basically. But just mass Stalker at this point. No tech units. He needs to get some sort of tech units out. He's got some Colossi going on. He's going to come in here and try and pick off these bases with his Stalkers. And I think at this point, Mr. Bitter might just do well to just sack that and just go for a counter and do some base trading, basically. And that's exactly what's going on. A couple Broodlords. No, those were just Broodlings from the hatchery, actually. Never mind. But he is going to shut down all production. All income, rather, except for this last base. DT's in the mix as well, though. Where did he... Oh, he had an Overseer with his army before. The Overseer is up here with the Roach army going into the main. There's the Stargates. It doesn't look like the Stargates are ever going to get a single unit out, though. And both players trading bases. These Stalkers are more than enough to take out these Spine Crawlers, deal with this base. Mr. Bitter's going to have to run his stuff away, and he's just producing mass Spine Crawlers to try and hold off, because if he can hold off this Stalker army, he's going to be able to finish off iNcontroL's base as well. DT's in the mix. Where's that Overseer? Overseer needs to get down where those DTs are. Warp gates have all been shut down. Almost all of them. Down here, this base is going to go down. Look at this, just mass Broodlords. The DTs can do nothing against all these Broodlings. So many Broodlords, absolutely disgusting. The Roach is doing a number on the natural expansion as well. In the meantime, iNcontroL is trying to take out all these Spine Crawlers before they morph in. Finally, the Spine Crawler is starting to morph in. He needs to get a bunch of Roaches out immediately, but he doesn't have any money. He has just got barely any money in the bank right now. There's the Roaches. He needs to attack with them. It's just not going to be enough. It's just going to be a complete base trade. Mr. Bitter producing hatcheries all over the map with extra drones he had around, though. I don't know if iNcontroL is going to be able to get out. Oh, he's got a bunch of probes over here, and it looks like he is going to produce some pylons over in the corner and try and rebuild. His main base is going to go down hardcore. If he can get some Stargates up, wow, if he can get some Stargates up, actually, before all of his tech dies, if he can get some Stargates on one of those pylons, then he's going to be in pretty good shape. Well, actually, if he can get some income, he needs some income too, I guess. Mr. Bitter producing hatcheries everywhere as his main goes down. Greater Aspire is going to go down. The Hive is going to go down. iNcontroL targeting the Hive so that Mr. Bitter cannot produce extra tech buildings somewhere else. And look at this hatchery being produced in that location is going to block that. The probes are going to go to work on it. Roach is going to destroy everything. Is he going to get any tech units out? No, he's not. iNcontroL has not rebuilt his base. iNcontroL has a decent army, though. It's not going to be anything against these Broodlords, but look at this. Wow, he's actually producing too many hatcheries. He doesn't have any drones. Okay, he does have this high yield, actually, so he does have some income. Look at this. Income 0 for iNcontroL. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And, oh, wow. You know what I just realized? He took out the Hive, which means this is his last Overseer. He has... Why does it not show the Overseer in the unit count? That's really... Oh, there. Never mind. There it is. Duh. Okay, so he has one Overseer. So if iNcontroL can somehow pick off... I didn't even realize that's why he was picking off the Hive there, trying to take that out. If iNcontroL can somehow pick off that Overseer, the DTs will win the game. But if he doesn't, the Broodlords will win the game. So this is hardcore. Probes going around killing buildings off. His main army is looking to engage here. Broodlord's taking some pot shots there. Oh, might even take out some Stalkers, having to run away from that army. Wow, and is he going to go up here? He's going to try and take out all these pylons. That's all he has left is these pylons. He needs to protect those pylons. Ah! And he has a bunch of probes, but he doesn't have a Nexus. He has enough for a Nexus. I'm not sure why he's not producing a Nexus. Perhaps he's afraid it's just going to get killed off. And oh, Broodlord's going to work. He's going to work on these pylons. Now he's revealed, so he knows that those are his last pylons, and he's just got one more pylon over here. iNcontroL is going to try and finish off all of his units before he takes out all of his pylons. His spawning pool is almost in, though. Some Broodlords come back to try and help with this. And it looks like Mr. Bitter may take his first win against iNcontrol's Protoss. No, he leaves the pylons alone. Now, iNcontroL doesn't have a base, so he's revealed. And look at this. He's actually splitting up his armies to try to take out all these bases at once. The probes going for this over here. I'm not sure why he hasn't built a Nexus. I really don't. No, says Mr. Bitter. Oh, the DTs took out his main. Oh, the high yield main. He's just a race to see who can kill the pylons the fastest. Who can kill the pylons faster? Does he have an extractor anywhere? It's just down to this spawning pool and this hatchery. Ah! It's gonna be the pylons versus the hatchery. Can he kill the pylons before the hatchery goes down? Where are the probes going? The probes getting attacked by drones. He's trying to build more hatcheries everywhere. Oh my gosh, the pylons are almost dead. With the broodlords, just 2 broodlords going to work at that. The rest of the broodlords are going after the pylon. Does he have, and he has, oh, he's got a massive probes though, and he built another pylon down here. He may take out the hatchery. Oh, jeez, he's producing hatcheries everywhere just to keep himself alive as long as possible, so he's not revealed. And this hatchery is a little bit hidden up here. He might not notice it. Oh, man, that's why he was keeping those probes around instead of building a nexus, is so he could just build pylons wherever he needed to. This is his last pylon. That is his last pylon. He's got, actually, he's got 300 minerals in the bank, so he could... What is he doing? Is he killing his own probes? I can't even tell what's going on there. I think he might be killing his own probes for... I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. It must be a larva in there that I can't see. Anyway, here comes the Protoss army. He's going to come back up here and defend this base. There's a hatchery here. The observer sees the hatchery. If he picks off that hatchery, that is his last building. Last building there. If he picks off that hatchery, he needs to get the broodlords over there, protect that hatchery. Now, if that hatchery goes down, he's going to lose. No! Wait! An extractor! He has an extractor! Now it's just down to that one pylon. The probe's running away. He needs to kill off some of those probes. If the probes can get another pylon down somewhere, he's just trying to run around and pick off all these pylons and save this one extractor. That's all he has left is that one extractor. He says run out of money already because he keeps building all these pylons. He's got money for one more pylon. He's killed off that one. He's killed off this one. Where's the last pylon? There's the last pylon. That is it. It's that pylon and this pylon. Those 2 pylons are all that is keeping him in the game versus this extractor. And the probes, he's revealed. So the probes, where are the probes going? I'm not sure where they're going. Oh, they're trying to kill off this extractor first while the main army is running around trying to protect his last pylon. He's killed off the one pylon. Where's the DTs? He needs them in the mix. Oh, man. And GG coming from Mr. Bitter. Oh, his broodlords all died to the stalkers. Oh, so close. A pylon versus an extractor. That's all it came down to. If he'd had, you know, one broodlord over here or something like that, it could have been different. But wow, so absolutely fabulous game, flabulous game, you might even say, from Mr. Bitter. Almost taking out iNcontroL with a massive hardcore base trade. Absolutely epic game. GG, thanks very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it.